to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of May 6th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Halecko.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
As moms of teens and young adults, we've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today's Thursday, which means it's time to give in to our obsessing about parenting details, big and small. Today's obsession, screen time. Always a favorite obsession of parents, and often a favorite obsession of people who chide parents, because we're always hearing that screen time is bad, you must take away the screen. I think the American Academy of Pediatrics just came out with another guideline to stop doing that, parents. Which, oh, come on, really? Come on. Really? We really kind of need the screens. Please don't do that. Are you going to come to our house, learned physician, and mind our kids while we make dinner or do anything? Sleep? Go to the bathroom? Exactly. So anyway, we were very happy, based on our total overness with people telling us to quit with the screens, to see a article on the today.com website that was pro-screen time in the way that we are pro-screen time, in that, yeah, we know it's not ideal, but sometimes, come on. Right. Come on. So this author, Dr. Deborah Gilboa, thank you that it's a doctor, she's a parenting expert, it says right here on Today. A parenting expert who's telling us nice things. Thank you. Mentions 4 reasons when it's okay to give a screen. And her ideas are when you're the one having a tantrum, which means just when you need your kid to be distracted by a screen and you need a break, go ahead. It's okay. Another one is when you're keeping a promise, if you've, used screen time as a barter to get your kid to do something, which has often been the case for me. It's a very strong motivator. That's okay. When it affects other people, when you're in a public place and you need your kid to be occupied so they don't bother other people, go ahead. And when they're a danger to themselves or others, when your kids just get so overwhelmed that they need something to calm them down, it's okay. It'll be fine. So I was very happy to hear that, because that sort of reflects what I've felt about it. I was very bad at not using screen time, and I still am. My son is in his room with his phone all the time, and my daughter is watching YouTube videos of strangers, and it's okay. I really think it's fine. But I also, I've written articles myself about ways to use screen time for good. And I remember when my kids were little and they were not familiar with being in a family. We adopted them when they were not babies. So it was a difficult adjustment, and they were not comfortable with touch and with being hugged and with being held, and they were somewhat defensive of that. And the only time we could really have kind of a snuggly family time was when they were mesmerized by the TV. Yes! Oh. So we would all sit on my bed and we would watch, oh gosh, what were some of the ones we watched? I guess Arthur, and there was one with dinosaurs of some sort, cyber something. Anyway, we would sit and watch these, and my daughter would lean against me, and so I would be able to hug her a little bit while she was doing that, and my son would calm down from his perpetual motion, and I could hold his foot or hold some part of him, and we could have some really nice bonding time that could only be facilitated by the screen. So you will never tell me that was a bad idea, that I should have been doing other things with them, because they needed that, They needed something that would distract them from, okay, it's kind of nice to have a mom to lean against, and okay, maybe I could just sit down for a second and snuggle. So that was one of my favorite uses of screen time. Have you guys, you also, I'm pretty sure, have not been anti-screen time crusaders. Nicole, are you, as a former educator, one of those bossy anti-screen time people? Time people. I'm saying scream time because screaming is what I would be doing if we couldn't use the screen.
Exactly. No. The only thing that I kind of stuck to, and it was something that one of my friends told me before my son was born, and that was that her mother would never let her have her own television in her bedroom, because then it just encouraged her. It would encourage her to go to her bedroom and then never come out and talk to the family. So
sometimes that's a nice thing, actually.
It is.
That's a different podcast.
as they were younger, I mean, as adults and stuff, things change. But when they were younger, so I kind of stuck to that my kids would not. I didn't ever put TVs in their room because I wanted them to come out. Like the same reason with you is that even now to this day, we have shows that we watch together, and we're all together, and we're sitting around and we're talking and watching the show. And so that was the one thing that I did, is that I kept the TVs out of their rooms when they were younger.
Yeah.
But I certainly didn't, I wasn't a big stickler on. I mean, if they were sitting in front of it for 8 hours, I'd be like, "Come on, let's go, let's go do something." But I mean, I tried to balance it. Probably not. Because they had other activities going on too.
Right.
So I felt that whenever they did have their screens, it was kind of a little bit justified because they were so busy doing other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I never really, I didn't really, I always justified it somehow.
Yeah, when my kids were young, they didn't have the iPads and the phones. I mean, those didn't exist. Those came along, I think, a little later. And so I really wish I had them. They would have been way convenient, because I think about all the times I had to lug around, games and coloring books and decks of cards and dice and whatever else could occupy my kids while we waited for food at a restaurant or while we were on a plane or whatever. And it would have been very nice. That's a good utilitarian use of that device. If it keeps your kid quiet and occupied and not bothering other people. I would have liked that very much, but it was not a thing. So, and we didn't ever have TVs in the bedrooms until my daughter has one now, but I think she got that like for her 21st birthday or something like that. Yeah. So those seem like reasonable things. How about you, Catherine? How have you been using or preventing screen use?
Yeah, I mean, like Nicole, we didn't do the screens in the bedrooms. Even my own bedroom, I've never been a person who wanted to have a screen in my room.
That was such an adulthood thing for me.
Right.
When I got a TV in my bedroom. I was like, probably in my 20s or maybe 30s. It was like, wow, this forbidden thing.
And the thing is, my parents did have one in their room when I was a kid. And I remember I used to sometimes sit in there and watch it. And I would, it was a small, it wasn't a good TV. It was small. And I would sit on the super hard floor, like up against the side of their dresser, watching this dumb TV. I'm like, why would I go downstairs where it was like much more comfortable?
Yeah.
Gosh, my parents didn't have a TV in their bedroom, but I had friends who did. And I remember like being in their parents' bedrooms watching TV. And I think of that now and it's like, I don't want my kids' friends in my room. Get out of there. What are you doing? But I guess at the time it was something that occupied us, and the mom must just be fine. Go watch Dark Shadows in a room. It'll be fine.
I know. We would sit up. I'd sit against my mom's bed. And then the worst part was that it was an angle. So it was to my right, and so I'd have to twist around. And
I know, that's why I sat where I sat, because you could see it better from there, but it was a very awkward little spot on the floor. I don't know why wouldn't I sit on the bed? Like,
right?
Probably I couldn't see. I needed glasses. Oh, brother.
But then there was this little vent from our heater, because we have forced air heating, and so it was right in front of where I sat, so I think that's why I sat
nice
there.
And warm.
The heat would come on, and I'd feel the warm air.
Yeah, I mean, with my kids, like, I can remember, I don't know, maybe I've told this story before, I can't remember, but when my daughter was a baby, like a toddler, or even, a year old or something, I didn't think she should be watching TV. But I would turn on, like, Sesame Street, but close the cabinet of the TV so that you could hear it, but you couldn't see it. Like, what was I doing? I don't know. Because if you could listen to it and hear, like, the songs and stuff, but you wouldn't actually be watching. But then when she was, like, probably for between, like, 9 and 18 months or something, she woke up every morning at like 5 without fail, and there was nothing we could do to get her to sleep longer. We just tried everything. And we finally figured out that we could barricade her in the living room And one of us would sleep on the couch in the living room, and she would be perfectly content if the TV was on. And she wouldn't even watch it. She'd be like playing with her toys, whatever. But one of us had to be there sleeping on the couch, but at least we would sleep. And we'd be like, oh, it's already, Bear in the Big Blue House. That means I slept through like 2 other shows. That's how we knew how much time had passed.
You ever feel like she was just like, so, not going to let me watch screens? Then I can get you to let me watch a screen. Right. I don't really even care. It's just a battle.
Right.
That's so funny. We used to do that too. We'd put my son in this. He was way younger because he would be in his swing. Uh-huh. And I remember having the swing beside my bed and then putting him in the swing and then playing this Mother Goose video. And I knew that I had about 20 minutes between the swing and the video.
There you go.
I look forward to that 20 minutes.
Savor that 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. And these days, I feel like what you were saying about how, they're so busy other times that when they are at home, I don't really mind if they have screens on. Yeah. Because they have school and they have activities and, they're out doing things quite a bit of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And of course, they have computers from school that they have to use to do their homework.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Yep. And of course, also, we possibly enjoy some screen time.
Occasionally.
Yeah, my husband actually said to me on the way out the door this morning, so are you actually going to get up off the couch today and move?
Ooh. Fighting words.
In like a...
Shade.
In like a... you've been on your computer for days, but I'm working.
Right.
Yes, that's right. We work on our computers.
Yes. Leave me alone.
We're researching Facebook.
You go to work. Anyway. Well, it's safe to say that we aren't total sticklers for managing.
Yes, that would be safe.
I think we're, a little bit laid back in that regard.
Yes. See, again, the podcast on how our children have changed us.
Yeah. So that's it for today's Round 4. Tune in tomorrow when we'll share our roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.